Before the break, we asked, where in the world do households pay the highest electricity bills? And the answer is the Republic of Ireland. Welcome if you just joined us. Zoe and Krista are still with me, and it's our final part of the programme where we're talking about how to get your money back on overpaid bills. According to Ofgem, energy firms held a combined, wait for it, £8.1 billion of customers' money in bill overpayments at the start of last year. It's a lot of money. And I want to hear from you on this. Have you ended up paying more than you should? And are you owed money by a company that's gone bust, perhaps? Consumer expert at the Complaining Cow, but we call her Helen Dudney here, is here to answer our questions and your questions as well on overpaid bills. Zoe, have you had any overpaid bills that you're struggling with?
I think we all have, right? I mean, it really, really gets up my nose when the energy companies come after you for cash. They're very, very quick to set up your direct debit, but they're not going to send somebody out to read your meter. They're going to do it on an estimate. And then every single month, you're clearly paying more. And then they say, oh, it's fine because we've got this credit with you so that during the winter months. But if you're being frugal during the winter months, your money is just sitting in their bank account and they don't give it back to you. I mean, I wanted to ask you this because there have been so many times where I've tried to get the money back. I've either been on hold for hours and hours on end, I can't get through to anybody, or they end up sort of convincing me that I should keep my money in there. So how am I ever going to get it out?
Well, write to them. Right. So first, put it in writing that you want it, and that if you don't get it, then you go to the Energy Ombudsman and you'll get it. It really is that simple, because they will try and keep it, because you've just seen 8.1 billion. I'm sure the interest on that is quite a lot. So they do want people to keep it in there. But if you ask for it back, then you should be getting it back. So put it in writing.
Okay. What's their reasoning usually for saying don't take it out? Is it sort of, this is to cover you in case the energy prices go up again, at least you've got credit? Is that what they're sort of selling? They'll say, and to some degree it can be helpful that if you don't know how much energy you're going to use over the winter, to have that little bit of credit build up in the summer, then you have got that little bit of buffer in the winter. But it could be that actually it's been quite a mild winter, so you actually might have used slightly less heating than you thought. So actually it could have built up and bills came down a little bit. So it could be that actually it has built up. So it is worth trying to work out how much less you're going to use and get some back. I've just done it. I've just got a couple £100 back. So I just thought, I don't want it sitting in your account. Exactly. I want it sitting in mine.
Yeah.
It's an extraordinary amount, Krista. £8.1 billion. Imagine the interest on that.
Well,
it's interest on your money.
Yeah, well, they're paying their staff salaries. They're paying all sorts on that, aren't they? And it's not coming out of any of their profits because it's our money. I never let it get to that, though. I have to say, I perpetually owe my energy company money. I obsessively check weekly what my balance is. They get a payment on the 1st of every month throughout winter. So at the moment, I can tell you now, I owe my energy company £645.
Right.
But they will get a payment on the 1st of next month, which will bring that down. We're coming out of the back end of winter, so that's why it's quite high.
Do they send you letters saying you owe us cash?
They try and put the payment up during winter, and I then put it straight back down to where it is, because then during summer I end up back at, within credit with them or at zero. And then, by the way, they never say, let's put your direct debit down during the summer. And then as soon as it gets to winter again, I end up owing money. But I figure it's better that it's in my account than it is theirs. And I think that's what you have to do, is be constantly aware of this.
Bet they're furious. They tune on, they watch you on TV, and they go, he owes us money.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's bragging about what he owes us.
And now he's bragging about it on national television.
They're not getting it from him. Whenever they put it back up, and sometimes when you try and put it back down, they say to you, sorry, you've got to call us to put it back down or email us. So I do, and I get it put back down.
Okay, let's speak to Patricia. Let's speak to Patricia, who's got in touch from Cardiff. Patricia, welcome to the show. What would you like to ask, Patricia?
Oh, thank you. Back 2022 to 2023, my energy company was taken over by a different firm. And when my bills came in, they said, going into the winter of this year, that I owed them hundreds of pounds. Well, when I checked all my direct debits, they didn't match up with the payments that they said that they'd received on my statements. So I sent in all my bank statements for the 12 months with a letter and the statements showing, outlining, and I heard nothing. All I had was an email to say that I was to take it up with the company, that they'd sold out to, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay.
And it totals nearly £500. And I'm on the verge now of just writing it off. But on the other hand, I think, well, I'm a pensioner and I can't really afford to lose that money.
No, look, you've sent Helen into a rage right now. Patricia, stop, do not write it off, because Helen's going to have some advice for you.
Yeah, because quite often companies just hope that people will write it off, and the majority of people do, because if they get faced with this barrage of no, you can't do this and no, you can't do that, and people give up. And so that's another reason why they're billions in profit. So, yeah, definitely what you want to do is have all your evidence and write to them. And the website I'm going to say, ceoemail.com, find the CEO's email address, and that will help escalate the matter, and it will go to a different team, to the customer service. So you provide all your evidence, and you say that this is what I've paid, anything that you want back, and that if you are not satisfied with their response, if I'm not fully satisfied with your response, I will not hesitate in taking the matter further. This will include, but not be limited to, going to the Energy Ombudsman. And so if it's been 8 weeks since you first started that complaint, then you can go straight to the Ombudsman. If it's fewer than 8 weeks, then you can ask for a deadlock letter. But I would just say, put it in writing. You've got their response in writing, and then go to the Ombudsman and you'll get it sorted.
Patricia, thank you. Good luck with that. But I think the message there is, do not give up on that £500. Absolutely not. Let's take another call. Julie has got in touch from Lincolnshire. Julie, good afternoon. What would you like to say?
Oh, hi there. I moved house in December and obviously got a new energy company. When I joined them, using my previous estimates, they put me on a tariff for £90 a month, which happened for the first month. And then on the second month, they just put it up to £215. And I asked to have a smart meter fitted, which they did. And when they fitted the smart meter, they said on my bill that I was in credit by £216. The third month came, which is this month's bill, and they sent me a bill for £350, and my smart meter says that I've used 116.
They're just making it up. They're just making it up.
Zoe's incensed.
I'm really annoyed.
So where are you now with your energy company, Julie?
I'm so frustrated. I've telephoned them so many times, and they promised me that they'll call me back and they'll resolve it, and it's with billing. And coincidentally, I just called them this morning before your program started, and they said, absolutely, we see there's a problem. Somebody will be back to you at the latest by lunchtime today. And again, I've heard nothing, but I'm getting worried that these bills are getting bigger and bigger. And
I'm trying to get through now, Julie. It is lunchtime. But let me see if Helen's got some advice.
Yeah. The problem is again, that when you phone and they say somebody will get back to you and they don't get back to you, that's the problem with phoning, and you don't have the evidence. So you need to put it in writing again, write to the CEO so it gets that escalated. And write with all of that evidence and say what it should be. If you have a feeling that your smart meter is faulty, because a lot of them have been, as we know, then get them to come out and look at it and give you another one if need be. But those could be issues as well, but certainly do it in writing. And very similar to the last one, you threaten the Energy Ombudsman if they don't sort it.
But Helen, it is scandalous in a way, isn't it? I mean, imagine if I just rung someone up and was like, yeah, you owe me £350, can you just put it into my account? And it doesn't make any sense. I don't understand how they're getting away with it, because lots of people would just pay it and then you're just overpaying constantly. It's awful.
Not Christo.
No, Christo's not. Not an absolute legend.
In fact, I'm going to check my meters again when I get home. I do that obsessively as well.
Well, look, we're here to help. Let's, Julie, I hope that works. I mean, in general, Helen, you're always a big fan of put everything in writing, take it straight to the CEO, say, I've tried, you haven't helped, this is my evidence, get on with it. And if you won't, I'll go to Ofgem.
And I want to be compensated for my time as well.
Oh, hello.
Because, you know, who has the time for all of this?
Well, you can say that I would like some redress to reflect the amount of inconvenience I've had and the stress you've had. You're not necessarily legally entitled to it strictly, but you could say that actually your customer service has been so appalling.
Look, I want to squeeze in Tripti, who's called in from London, because we were very short on time. We've got under a minute left. Tripti, what would you like to ask?
Hello. So I've just switched from one energy company to another, but the energy company I've left, they owe me £2,133, and I'm just worried that I might not that I won't get the money paid back, but they're just going to it's just going to take me a long time, and I need that money back to pay for other things.
Okay, Tripti, thank you for your question. How can Tripti get her money as quickly as possible?
It depends where you are in that process of it all moving over. It should, in theory, all go with into the new one. It might be easier to wait until it's all gone through and then ask for it from the new company in the same way that they have to give it back to you in the same way that your company that you've been with for 3 years.
Okay, and if she's struggling with that, again, write to the CEO
and threaten the energy ombudsman.
Okay, Tripti, thank you. Now, before we go, we've got some tips on what you can do if you are struggling to pay your energy bills. So if you're in debt, there are some charities that can help. One of them is Turn to Us. It's a national charity offering information and practical support to people facing financial insecurity. And their website is turntous.org.uk. Next up, the National Debt Line is also a charity providing impartial debt advice. You can get hold of them on the phone, 0808 808 400. That's 0808 808 400. You can call them anytime between 9 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday to Friday, and Saturdays as well. They're open on 9. Advice offer information on their website. It's all very easily and very clearly set out. You can get them on citizensadvice.org.uk. Another one that can help you out is Step Change. They offer debt advice and help. They help you plan how to repay your debts. They offer tailored advice based on your very own circumstances. So it's probably worth speaking to them as well. Their website is stepchange.org. And finally, it's also worth checking if you're eligible for any payment support. Now, we're talking about, for example, the Household Supports Fund, which is money given to all local councils to support vulnerable councils in their area. It was due to end this month, March 31st, but as we heard in the budget a couple of weeks back, it was extended for another 6 months. So if you want to find out what additional benefits might be available for you, please visit gov.uk and use their benefits checker. You can always check out Helen's website, of course, for some money-saving hacks. Just visit thecomplainingcow.co.uk. But we don't call her that. We call her Helen, and we love her. But yeah, plenty of advice and plenty of help out there as well. But I like the fact that you're always, and every time we've chatted, put it in writing. And I think that's so important. Give us one more time the CEO, where people can find those emails for the CEOs.
It's ceoemail.com.
CEO email, all one word, .com.
I'll do with the rest of my day, yeah, exactly.
Regret the day that they heard that from
I know.
Well, I can say the editor of the site just said, have you been on telly? Someone's been on telly.
You have just created a monster in Christo Fufas. I can see.
I'm starting right now.
Well, look, that's it for today. Thank you to Helen, Zoe and Christo. They've been marvellous. Jeremy's back at 9:15 tomorrow morning. Have a wonderful afternoon. See you all later.